Afternoon. Great to be here with you today, and I'm so honored and privileged to be invited to this meeting as a guest speaker. And I cannot describe how much it means to me to share my experience and knowledge with all of you, and going through my pathway for the success as a geophysicist, seismologist, and sharing that with you throughout my life so far. I'll be giving you some examples from my stories of success, and I'll at some point put some description of the picture that would go with it. Make sure you watch this corner and see the relevant picture to the topic that I'm talking about. So my story starts with, I will start from where I have started in the US 20 years ago. In 2001, I moved from Turkey to United States as a postdoc seismologist. Since then, I've been working, and 19 of this 20 years has been with Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory. When I started my career, I wasn't really thinking I would be a scientist. When I started high school, or when I started thinking about my career, I didn't think I would be a geophysicist or scientist even. I was planning to be a business manager or a business-related topic. And I was thinking, maybe at least I can be an engineer. My brother was an engineer. I just didn't think I could be good at doing this. Why? I was thinking I wouldn't be good because I think I was sometimes really good with math and physics classes, and I wouldn't be that good in some of them. And even myself as a young student didn't understand why I'm sort of not consistent in my interest. And now that I think back, it's not about I wasn't able to, it was just my interest, my focus wasn't there at that time. And this could be different reasons. It could be family related reasons. It could be health, anything that could be only or way, but my interest would come and go. And sometimes there is no reason. So with that, in high school, in my senior year, I was getting prepared for nationwide college exam. My physical education teacher, and I was actually excused from the class. I was not feeling well. She started talking to me. My friends were exercising, and she started talking to me and asking me questions about my college choices and what I want to be, what schools I put in my choices. I said that it's mostly business related topics that I was interested in. I think I put economy as well. She said, how about geophysics? I said, geophysics, what is that? I have never heard of geophysics. She said, what do you have time to come and talk to my husband today? He's professor in geophysics, and it's very much underrepresented. Nobody knows about it. Do you at least would you like to come and hear from him what it is? Please come. And I said, why not? I left home, and after coming from school at night, I went to my teacher's house, and I ring their bell and I ask, what is geophysics? And he started explaining me, like with very general terms, what kind of jobs I would get, what kind of topics it's covered, what is it? So basically, he said it's using physical methods to understand the earth, and it can be applicable to petroleum or oil exploration. And you can definitely find a job, but maybe not here. I was still intrigued, and I put in my list of college choices. And when I got the results, boom, I saw I was accepted in Istanbul Technical University. In 1986, I was accepted to college. When I started, my unfortunately classmates were not very enthusiastic about geology or geophysics, and I was just talking to them, and everybody was confused. They didn't know exactly what they want to be, and they were all talking about not having enough jobs for this topic, and basically it's very hard to finish. Just so bad scenario. I should have not even written this as my choice. So then I felt terrible. I said, what am I gonna do now? I'm stuck. But I said, because I'm here, I'm going to at least try to finish it and get my degree. With those feelings, I started school because I just didn't know what exactly I was getting into. And that's kind of my point here. When we are young, it's really hard to know exactly what we want and what means when you're confused, why is actually the confusion is happening. And towards my senior year, I took a seismology class. And in seismology class, I absolutely got fascinated about the fact that you can use science and physics to find where the earthquake is. And for me, it was just it tuned into me because it's geography. You're also finding out about the most, hazardous, one of the most hazardous thing in the world. And you can actually contribute to this by looking at seismological problems. And I got really high grades from that class. And we have internship during college. For the internship, I applied to Kandilli Observatory. And in Kandilli Observatory, I was kind of learning how to read seismograms, how to locate earthquakes, and what's the operational routine there. And we had these drums and recorders. And with the recorders, in those days of technology, it's a long time ago, you would have paper records, and it would go around 24 hours, and each tick mark would be a minute. And when earthquake happened, there would be a metal pen with the ink, and that metal pen would start bringing signal from the source. So we had these antennas, and the signal would be coming from wherever the earthquake is happening, and the signal reached out to the sensor. So as I was sitting there and understanding how this was happening, the closest station that recorded the event would get the fastest, because the wave propagates with certain speed, and in order to reach the 100 kilometers versus 1,000 kilometers, it takes different time and it's later. So I started immediately realizing you can actually in the fast run kind of understand how where the earthquake would be approximately. In fact, 2,000 years ago, when China was going through many earthquakes, a famous scientist, he developed this a seismometer, a dragon, a kind of a circle, a circle shape, a frame, and dragon would have a sort of a pendulum shape stick. And whichever the direction is, dragon would have the balls. Whichever the direction of the earthquake is, the dragon would move first, and that would drop the ball to the frog. And they would actually know where the direction of the earthquake was coming from 2,000 years ago, and totally, I would say, very innovative approaches. And I'm thinking 2,000 years from today, we're going to see a lot of advancements, such as now we started looking at fiber optic cables, communication cables to to use those for as our sensors. It's improving so fast. We're getting so much information. I think it's the era of information, and so much information is flowing through. We started looking at machine learning, data, easy data access, or processing modules. We're using high performance computing. All that is helping making big progress in science. With that understanding of seismology, I got so much interest. I was going to rural places in installing seismic stations, because we are expected to locate those sensors in quiet areas, and these quiet areas would have villages nearby. And I started meeting with the people that I've never seen or exposed to. I was going to Eastern Turkey. I was meeting with people in villagers, and I had started interacting with social aspect of science, which, you take your science, you bring it to their place, and they're so appreciative, and almost taking the expertise and introducing them, at least showing how we are recording earthquakes. That was fascinating to me. So today, Lawrence Livermore, I am part of ground-based monitoring research and development group, but I also am working on international collaborators. I have a program to help their monitoring capacity to impose for transparent culture and data sharing, and understanding the disaster or risk that they would be facing too. Today, I have collaborators from Central Asia, Caucasus, Middle East, North Africa, and I would almost say I'm friends with them. Every day I wake up, my day starts with the messages from my overseas collaborators telling me about the project progress, and also maybe they will be asking me, what are we going to do 2 months from today in this workshop? How are we going to deal with this problem during pandemic? How are we going to purchase this equipment? All that. And it becomes almost like a family. You'll see a photo of them in one of our meetings. It becomes a family that we just start talking to each other in this same exact topic, seismology or geophysics, and we start exchanging information, and we attend meetings when we report to each other how much progress we made. And the part of this project, or my assignment with Livermore is very rewarding to me, because not only I get to work with on science and working in their earthquake problems with my collaborators, but also I interact with different cultures and exposed to their nuances in their perception of science, perception of other things around them. But then I saw I would say magnificent outcome of it with science. We can actually combine each other, and regardless of our background, regardless of what the geopolitical situation is, and we can sit there and talk about the problems, and we totally ignore everything besides that. And I saw this happen all the time. That's very rewarding to me. My rest of the day usually is dealing with program management related issues to resolve. I also am involved with a magnitude measurement tool that we are developing with colleagues from AFTAC. This tool, I'm hoping, can be used in a wider societies and in different countries, there's already a lot of interest to use it. You know, my heart in deciphering seismic records, understanding where they're coming from, understanding the physics behind it, how the source affected the certain seismogram to appear certain way, and how we can do a better job. Can we locate the earthquake better with, you know, certain technologies? Some of my colleagues are expert in that, and they're solving and working on this problem to make a better job with that. I like to highlight something really important at work is teamwork. And I think this is not only for STEM approach, teamwork is necessary everywhere, I would think. I like to talk to my friends. I like to interact and understand what's going around me. I have a dog. I take him to a walk, and I meet with colleagues, with friends and other parents, and we start talking about our pet-related issues. We exchange, and we have solutions. Somebody talk about the solution. We come home. I solve it without really going through trouble, and maybe without going to veterinarian. That's a teamwork there. But there's a teamwork at work. There's a teamwork as students. You can actually work with your student friend, and then you can actually do better by working with her or him. This is, I think, very much important in making a successful career. The other thing I like to underline is mentorship. I have benefited so much from great mentors in my life. During my graduate school in the US, also in Turkey, my supervisor always helped me and mentoring me in the right direction. My colleagues here in Livermore always help and encourage me throughout my career development. And I see this, how much effective is mentorship is. And anytime we have intern coming and working with me or with my other colleagues, I tell them one thing: you need to appoint a good mentor, and if you don't have one, make sure you try to find one. And here you go. If you have an internship, it means you have a mentor. That person is willing to help with a young potential scientist, and start from there. And I'm sure you can find many others that can help you throughout your career or throughout your pathway to your success plan. I think motivation is part of mentorship. So mentorship, I had a mentor. I had several mentors. One of them was an excellent motivator. Every time I met with him, he would tell me how good I am, how well I do this. He would always point out the good things I did. He would also point out some missing part, but nowhere in a way that I would be discouraged. I had incredible benefit from his encouragement and helping me in understanding my potential. I think the potential we all have potential inside us. If you are in this talk today as a young person in the audience, it means you have a potential to grow. It means you're interested in understanding what could make a better career, and maybe science can be helping you, or engineering, or any technical programs. That is a good sign if you're listening this talk, or if you're listening to and tuning into this seminar series. Motivation can be found throughout your mentors, but I would also say inspiration is another highlight in my life. You could get inspired from different people. I used to live in Auckland, and our trash can would be picked up around 5 a.m. And one day it was rainy and cold. I forgot to put my trash outside to be picked up. And I saw the truck coming in, the siren, the truck approaches, and I rushed downstairs. It was raining and cold. I had this probably terrible face on me. The trash collector told me, looked at me, and he was just smiling, and rain was pouring, and he picked up the can and said, "Why are you feeling like this? What happened to you? You should just smile. It's a beautiful day. Hey, it's raining, so good." He was so energetic, so happy. I said, "Why? What was my problem? Why was I angry? What was my problem again? I'm just lazy to just go downstairs and push that trash can to outside." And he's just picking up everybody's trash, and he's absolutely super happy and spreading this around him. Not only that, he's enjoying what he's doing. He's an inspiration for me. I always remember him when I feel down, when I feel like I don't have a solution to a certain problem. And anyone can be an inspiration in our lives. And as we look at things around us, we could find good mentors, good inspiration, good maybe motivation. And it's just maybe opening an eye that would help us to see what the signals that we're receiving. And I'd like you to do one thing as you turn off this and walk away from this seminar today. Just try one thing that motivates you and think about it. And tomorrow, and remember how it made you inspired or motivated. If not today, try it tomorrow. Maybe your mood is not there, maybe a few days later. But keep in mind, as you start looking at it that way, there's always so good to see around us. That was my almost as my life dogma and my approach. And I think that's the key for success for me. I remember when I came to US, I went through challenges because being in different culture, coming from different cultural background, is challenging to adopt. When I was offered a job from US to work as a postdoc, I first was scared. I didn't know how I would do. All my education, my background was in Turkey. I wouldn't think I would be good enough to work with seismologists or maybe scientists in the US. I just didn't know how much I would adopt because it's just inexperience. And I was telling my brother this, and he said, if you don't try it, then you can regret later in life. But if you try it, if you don't like it, you can always come back. Even 1 month later, you hate it, you come back. 2 months later, you hate it, you come back. You still have a job. I froze my job just to try it here. And that just made me all in a sudden realize there are other ways to solve this. And I don't need to really feel stuck. The problem can be actually not a big, not something I cannot overcome. So overcoming problems can look difficult. This could be even studying during work. It could be having some miscommunication with your friend, with your colleague, at work with somebody you're working with. But this can be easily overcome with the approach and attitude. And I think that's really the key in getting problems resolved and solved. I came to US, a lot of challenges, technical things can be achieved by working hard and adapting to myself to the US level of expertise. But I think the most challenging thing to understand for me what actually hello is in the groceries. When first I came to I went to a market to do grocery shopping, I want the cashier to pay. She asked me, how am I? And I started talking about my headache, my neighbors, my problem of the day. And I look back and a long line is looking at me and what is she doing actually? And the cashier herself was a little confused with my descriptive explanation about how am I. And I understood it is just a hello, not a detailed request for me, for her to understand how am I doing today. Those are like a few anecdotes that I think sort of gives you a hint of how cultural differences may actually can be a little difficult at the beginning, but nothing is really to be not overcome. I think I like to highlight something very important also in success is inclusive culture that I like to adopt. Either I'm working with my colleagues or working with others in overseas. I'm in a room with people, president of that institute, somebody just entry level analyst, or someone actually even helping with the cleaning or bringing us tea to drink. I would try to make the case that they're all equally important in that room, and I care about that person. I look at in his eye and make sure I can thank you. And I can see the positive air is actually flowing through, because when people understand they are cared and included, it makes a huge difference. And it's not that I actually would do it for just to get that recognition. It is for me personally very rewarding. Then I always think if we can do more with every aspect in our lives, everywhere we go, you know, when we talk to each other, when we try to accomplish something, looking at things with inclusive culture is the key. We all come from maybe diverse backgrounds, but getting something done, potentially accomplishing something done has no boundaries. And I would say as a culture in the US, I found this is very inspiring, to be able to do anything I want when I'm older. I can be anything I want. If I am this, I am that. There's no limit. This is an amazing cultural richness, and I think we all have it. And hopefully, this culture can go forever, and we, all of you, get inspired, hopefully, from my story. And I'm sure 10 years later, 20 years later, or young ones, you have your own story. I'm sure in the audience, there are many people have probably better stories than me. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening my story. And I'm happy to talk to you on your questions, and great to be here again, and look forward to hearing your questions. Thank you.